Yeah, Jesus, that's so much more effective. Oh, God. Right, guys, this is actually just going to be a quick one because sadly, when I did my original recording for the Ortiz set, whatever it's called, yeah, it didn't go well, mainly because it was like 4 hours into the recording and I had a few too many interesting beverages by that point. What in the absolute cum dump Lindsay Lohan bollocks is this? Like, seriously, come on. What the fuck? Should have been a stain on the sheets. Instead, now you're a stain on society. Good for you, devs. Fucking idiots. However, the main reason being is it is so bad, I basically lost my cool. When going back over the footage, I had to delete it and... yeah. So I just kind of want to show as to why. And it's just simply because, I mean, I'm using the fire turret here, as you can see, but just at like a base level, this does like nearly double. Like, easily, nearly, I would actually honestly argue over double. To a point of where it's, I wouldn't even say it's funny. Like, it's actually just embarrassing. Alright, so the Ortiz turret is kind of more of a gimmick than it is actually practical, simply just because the overall effect of it is very minimalistic. You can get quite a lot of fire damage out of it, but the overall effect is so minimal that it's mostly actually quite pointless. And to be perfectly honest, Eclipse just beats it near enough 100% of the way. The only benefit really that I can see of Eclipse Ortiz is the simple fact of we can't set ourselves on fire with it, hence my hesitation there, trying not to set myself on fire with it. So, Ortiz. Let's see if we can bring this up real quick. And we're going to do a direct comparison to Eclipse. So, the Ortiz Exuro gear set. The two pieces, 20% burn duration and 15% skill health. 15% skill health is just dead here. It's not going to matter. If things are on fire, they're very likely to shoot your turret. And as well as the fact that the turrets are quite small, enemies are surprisingly not that accurate. It's more just, well, for us, they're accurate. When they're trying to shoot your skills, they're not actually that accurate. This is typically why if you're running a turret and drone build, your drone, because of where it goes into the middle of all of them and everything is shooting it, your drone will die quite quick. However, your turret is able to survive quite effectively. So the skill health is just completely friggin' redundant. That burn duration is nice, but it's only going to be really effective if you've actually got a good amount of damage coming from it, which is where the 3-piece comes in, plus 40% burn damage. This isn't that bad, but we can get more effect out of other things, which we'll go into in a second. Now, the 4-piece, it gives us the Ortiz turret, which spins in 360. You're immune to your own turret's fire, and the turret explodes when it dies. So the only thing this set actually is giving us in terms of actual usable pieces is just the 40% burn damage. Now, admittedly, yes, the turret 360 is going to be helpful, but then, to be perfectly honest, it's not exactly too difficult to just sort of position yourself, especially if you are going to use something like this, position yourself in an area where you know you're actually able to make use of what is coming. Because if you're going to use this with a turret, the benefit is going to be more of the simple fact of you know where they're coming from. You know where to position yourself. You know what to do. And just to give a pretty easy example of this, hopefully we can make this in time. Right, so we're here. It's going to take a little bit of game knowledge, but it's not really that difficult. Just going to pop you, set all of you on fire, and we're going to... hang on, what's going on here? Why is this not turning? Fuck it, we'll just do that. Like, I knew they were coming from there. I don't know what happened with the... I was trying to move a bit closer, but my character just stopped. I can tell I very rarely use this thing. So that's just complete player error on my part. But, yeah, this is like just problem solved. Yeah, done. Yeah, easy. So the 360 thing there isn't really going to be a helpful thing. The whole 360 dynamic isn't actually that much of an issue or like a good thing. I mean, it's fun. It's pretty cool to look at. It can be of benefit simply just because they might not always come from the same direction. But at the same time, it's not like it's a huge thing either. It's a nice to have. It's not huge, but it's not like terrible either. It's just sort of like, oh, the turret now does 360. Great. So the chest talent, the turret now ignites all other enemies within 2 meters. So it's essentially poor man's creeping death. 2 meters is nothing. This is of literally zero benefit. Now, the backpack talent, 25% weapon damage to enemies that are on fire. And another 25% essentially turret damage. Now, I would need to check this. Sadly, the PTS is down. But where this is 25% turret damage, I'm pretty sure due to the equation in which things like how your skills are calculated, I'm pretty sure this 25% will multiply with this 40. Essentially giving us, if we just do we need to do 1.4 times 1.25. That is going to give us essentially 75. Between those two, it's going to give us 75. So the backpack is again going to be best in slot. Now, there's one huge, huge issue with this, okay? And that is just quite simply, this is mostly meh. This is pretty good. However, if we just come back to the game real quick, and I might just quickly pop back to the White House just to show this. With Eclipse, 15% status effect. Obviously, at this point, Ortiz is winning. Winning. Yeah, Ortiz is winning. In terms of spread, this is basically unbeaten. This will even beat Creeping Death on something like a fire build. This is literally just unreal. Okay. Skill haste, meh. Hasbro, meh. But the killer is amplifies all damage you deal to status affected targets by 30%. This includes the fire that you're hitting them with. Which in terms of the overall calculation that you will be doing, this will do more than Ortiz. And from the little bit of testing I did, while Eclipse with just a fire turret does nearly double. It's like nearly double, okay? And then this 30% amp is also going to apply to your weapons, which is obviously going to beat that 25% weapon damage, which is essentially just red cores. And then this indirect transmission range and the kicker. I mean, the transmission range is nice, don't get me wrong, but the most powerful thing about this chest talent is the refresh of it spreading, being 75%. In terms of overall performance, if you're going to go down the Ortiz route, this does like single target, it does nearly double. If you're then going to equate this into other targets, it's basically going to quadruple for every other target you hit. It's literally stupid on how useless Ortiz is already. Like, if they wanted to go down that route, they should have put, I don't know, like, rather than skill haste, put like 40% status duration, and rather than Hasbro, I don't know, something else. They should have just buffed this set a little bit more. But at the same time, Eclipse is like one of the most powerful sets in the game, so buffing this would be a bit silly. Ortiz is immediately like, Rigor is probably better. Rigor would give you more. I'm pretty sure, in fact, Rigor, if you actually made a fire build out of Rigor, I'm pretty sure Rigor would actually give you more. Yeah, Rigor would literally give you more. If you're just focusing on the turret, Rigor would give you more. That's comical. Rigor's like one of the worst set. Well, I would actually argue it is the worst set in the game. Rigor will give you more than Ortiz. Brilliant. Just what I like to see. are dead set on arrival. Yeah. It's embarrassing. Anyway, have fun. Good luck. Don't die. It's bad for the health.